Hola besties. We are gathered here today literally in my bed, which is my favorite place ever. I always want to be in my bed. I don't want to be bedridden or anything, but like if I was, I wouldn't be too mad about it. Today we are doing some tier ranking of Booktok, popular Booktok books, which I know these videos were like really popular a year ago, but I never thought of doing one until now. So here we are. I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Javell. I make book related content and I also make lifestyle content, and I just made a Bookstagram. Or that sounds so terrible. I just made a Bookstagram because I'm pretty sure everybody from like high school and college are probably tired of me talking about books on my story, especially if they don't read. So I thought I'd make a Bookstagram. It's Javell's library, so go follow that because I haven't posted anything yet, but I will eventually. So let's get this thing going. I first want to preface this video by saying I only read romance books, contemporary romance, thrillers, or murder mysteries. So if it's like Greek mythology, fantasy, anything outside of what I just mentioned, I haven't read it. So, and I have no interest in reading it. So let's get started. First, on the bottom it says TBR, which is basically like to be read. So I might read it. Then there's I simply am not picking this book up and you can't make me, which I feel like a lot of these books might be on there. Then there's Don't Make Me Talk About It, and after that did I like it? Would I recommend it? Sure. And then above that is it was enjoyable but forgettable, and then I feel like most of my books are it was enjoyable but forgettable because I don't remember a lot. And then there's exclamation point, which is like I don't know what that means though, but yeah. And then the last one is would sell my soul to experience this for the first time again. So let's get started. I want to start with Verity because this is one of like Collen Hoover's like craziest book, and it's also like one of her most hyped book. I have not seen one bad review about Verity, and I feel like the overall consensus about Verity is really good. What I feel about this book, I'm gonna say would sell my soul to experience this for the first time, because when I finished this book, like 2 weeks later, I was still kind of shook. I was shooketh. I didn't know. I still don't know what to think actually, and it's been a couple months. If you don't know what Verity is about, it's about like this author. She was like a really famous author, and she gets in an accident, so her husband goes out and he finds another author to help co-write her book, her last book I guess, or her newest book, to help co-write it. And so the author goes to her house, and while she's there just very weird things start happening, and at this point I'm thinking it's like a paranormal book. It's not. So then the author that's like helping her write the book, she discovers an autobiography that was being written by Verity Crawford, who's like the famous author, and it has just very like crazy admissions in it. She probably wouldn't want anyone to know, and so it's just about like the entire like situation with like the author dealing with Verity and whether or not she should tell the husband what she found in the autobiography. It's just a very crazy book, and every time you think it gets worse, it gets worser. My Dark Vanessa, I've seen reviews about this book and I don't think this was something I would read, so I'm gonna say I simply am not picking this book up and you can't make me. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I'm like on a Christina Lauren binge right now. She is so good. So I read The Unhoneymooners and I loved it so much, and so I want to put this one on like the scream list, so, or like the exclamation point list. Unhoneymooners is basically about two people who really don't like each other, but their siblings are getting married, and then at the wedding their siblings both get sick from like food poisoning, and then the siblings ended up taking the honeymoon from their siblings that got married. And so they go to, I can't remember where they went on vacation, but they hate each other, so the whole time they're like kind of dreading going on vacation together because they don't like each other. But then they get on vacation and they have to pretend to be married, because if the hotel found out that like they're not married, then they will lose the tickets or whatever. I don't know, but like it was just a very fun book. very funny. Made me really like Christina Lauren's writing, and so right now I'm reading Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Funny you should ask, I haven't read this yet, but some of my comments have been like, you need to read that, or like, you need to get it, and so I'm gonna put it on my TBR list, because if the girls are saying they like it, then it might actually be good. Normal People by Sally Rooney. I'm gonna put it on my Don't Make Me Talk About It list, because Normal People by Sally Rooney was very boring. Connell or Connolly or whatever his name was, he was so mean to Marianne, and like every time she would give him another chance, this boy would mess up. So, and I don't know, it just was very unrelatable for me. I know the title is Normal People, but it was not giving normal people, so I didn't really like it that much. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is one of the first books I've read by her, and the only one. Emily Henry, I don't know, her writing style is just boring to me. She does slow burn, but I feel like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, I just don't like her books, or at least this book. I feel like this book is kind of overhyped, and when you do find out the reason why they stopped being friends, so it's basically like college best friend, but then they had a falling out and they didn't see each other for a couple years, and then they get back together and they're having like one last vacation to see if they can salvage their friendship, and it goes back and forth, so it does past and present, and you try to figure out like, why did they stop being friends? When you do find out, it's like a very stupid reason, and so I didn't like this book, and also it was just too dragged out. I thought the characters were so immature, even though they're like 30 plus, I think. I'm gonna put it at Don't Make Me Talk About It, because girl, I don't want to talk about it. Song of Achilles, I think this is like a Greek mythology. I'm not picking that book up. Yeah. Circe, I don't know what that is, but I'm just gonna say not picking it up either. And if you guys see me in a couple months reading these books, don't say anything. We're gonna ignore it, because it's one thing about me, I'm gonna change my mind, like that's for sure. I do want to read Neon Gods by Katie Roberts. I think it's like a little spicy situation, so I'm gonna add that to my TBR, because I do love a spicy novel. I do love a spicy book. This book, A Little Life, I've seen it a lot in the bookstores, but I haven't even like read the synopsis or anything, but it looks like it would be sad. So A Little Life depicts the everyday experience of living with trauma, chronic pain, and disability, demonstrating the inherent intersections with one another. Okay, this kind of sounds a little good, but it sounds like it might make me cry, so I'm gonna put it on my TBR. Betrayed by Emily Henry. I don't like Emily Henry, so I'm also gonna add that on my Don't Make Me Talk About It list, because I don't know, I just think her writing is just so, her books are just boring to me. I heard that Book Lovers is really good though, so I might actually try that. But Betrayed, I don't think that's gonna be a go for me. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I definitely want to experience that again for the first time. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is just like such a unique story, and I feel like I haven't really read anything like that. Book Lovers, I'm gonna add that to my TBR. I don't really know the synopsis of the story, but Isabella Gurley, she said it was really good, and I trust her because I think we have the same kind of like reading taste or book taste. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, I'm gonna put that in the screen category because The Love Hypothesis is so good. It can be like a little cheesy with like all the science puns or whatever, but I think his name was Adam. I loved his character because he was like so like mean, but like he was such a simp for her, and I love when the guys is a simp for her. The Deal by Elle Kennedy, I love the Off-Campus series. The Deal is from the Off-Campus series, and the entire series is kind of like a college romance, and if you like sports, romance, whatever, this is really good. And so I really liked The Deal by Elle Kennedy. It was enjoyable but forgettable. I don't want to say that. I'm gonna put it up at the exclamation category because I really love The Deal. It's like really spicy college romance, and it also has like sports in it, and all the main characters in this like series, they're just so lovable and funny. The Spanish Love Deception, I'm gonna put it at the scream category as well because I love the Spanish Love Deception. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I feel like I mention it in every video, but the Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, so good. It is fake dating, so if you like that trope, that's also in here. Enemies to lovers, that trope is also in the Spanish love deception. And they go to Spain. Catalina is like from Spain, so if you want to get that kind of like, I don't know, this is like a really fun read. And then we're gonna do Ugly Love by Collen Hoover. I'm gonna put this at did I like it and would I recommend it? Sure. I have very mixed feelings about Ugly Love because it is a Collen Hoover book, so it's like a fun read. It's a fast read. I don't know, Collen Hoover, she does stories that are really captivating, and this is not a Collen Hoover hate train, so if you're expecting that, you're not gonna get it here, okay? I love Collen Hoover. I love her writing, but this book in particular, Miles, I think the main character's name was, he was just so damaged and he just needed to be by himself and he needed to go to therapy. And so I did not like how, I think the other main character's name was Tate. I did not like how their relationship was, and also I don't want to give like spoilers because I do, if you haven't read these books, I want you to read these books. But in the book, he's like with, before he met Tate, like when he was a teenager, he was dating this girl and the girl became his stepsister, and at no point did Miles say, you know what, I should leave this girl alone. She is technically my stepsister by marriage at this point. I should leave this girl alone. They continued having a relationship, which I just find to be kind of weird, gross, disgusting. Ooh, Every Summer After by Carly Fortune is a second chance romance, and I read it last summer because I thought it was very much on brand with summer, and this was a phenomenal story. The reason why they fell out, I don't remember why they stopped being friends, but I'm gonna put it at it was enjoyable but forgettable, because I literally cannot remember why they stopped being friends, but it was kind of like a similar story, like they were friends when they were younger, but then something happened and they stopped being friends. And yeah, I do think it was a really good story though, so you should probably read it this summer. It's a really good story, I just don't remember. The Cruel Prince, I've heard a lot about this, so I'm gonna add it to my TBR. Better Than the Movies was also reviewed by Pham. I'm gonna put it on my TBR as well because I trust her opinion and I remember she liked it a lot. So The Fine Print, I've heard a lot about that series. I think everyone says the second book is better than the first, so I'm gonna add it to my TBR. They are a little bit too thick for me. I don't really want like really thick books because then I get so bogged down by it and I might never finish. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, I want to add it to the exclamation point. I love The Hating Game so much. I know it doesn't really have a good rep. A lot of people are very annoyed by it. I think Haley, who's the main, no, not Haley, Lucy was the main character. Yeah, a lot of people were annoyed by Lucy's character because she was always like, I'm so small, I'm so small. But like, I don't know, I just thought like the writing style was so fun. I love the characters, I thought they were so funny, and I feel like Sally Thorne does humor very well in her books. I'm getting like super comfortable. I'm like laying down at this point. Where the Crawdad Sings. I actually watched the movie, so I'm not gonna, or was it a show? I actually watched the movie / show, and I'm not gonna read it because I already watched the movie. So I would say, did I like it and would I recommend it? Sure. It Ends With Us by Collen Hoover. This one started me on my reading journey, so I'm gonna put it at would sell my soul to experience it for the first time because this book is like insane. Then there's Twisted Love, which phenomenal book as well. The entire Twisted series. There's Twisted Love, Twisted Hate, Twisted Games, and then I don't remember the last one because I haven't read it yet, but I read the first 3. Twisted Love, I'm gonna put it in the estimation category because it's a phenomenal read. After, absolutely not. I'm gonna put it at my don't make me talk about it. Actually, I'm gonna put it at I'm simply not picking this book up and you can't beat me. The After series is very cringe, like the entire series and the movies. I don't really know, like no thank you. Atlas 6, I don't really know much about, so I'm just gonna put it in my TBR category, but I feel like based on the cover, it's not something I would like. Sally Rooney, I don't know, because I read Normal People and I didn't like it, so I'm just gonna put, I'm not picking that book up. Hook, Line, and Sinker is such a good book. So I'm gonna put it at exclamation point. I really liked this book, and it was actually a part of a series. So the first book was It Happened One Summer, which we do have down here as well. And I thought this one was good, but I'm gonna say it was enjoyable but forgettable. Because I really liked Hook, Line, and Sinker more, which everyone loves It Happened One Summer more, but I read Hook, Line, and Sinker before I read It Happened One Summer, and I liked Hook, Line, and Sinker more. I don't know if it's because I read them in the opposite. This book is by Mariana Zapata and it's With Love, I believe. I haven't read that yet, but I will put it on my TBR. I haven't really heard anything about it. Inheritance Games, I don't feel like this is something I would be interested in, so yeah. It looks like it's like fantasy. November 9th by Collen Hoover. This book is really good. It's basically about this guy who meets this girl on November 9th. Something bad happened to her on November 9th, but they met the day before she moves to like New York, I believe. And so they make a pact to see each other every November 9th, and they start dating, and she is, I don't know, it's just like a very interesting story. It's a little bit toxic, I feel like. It's really good though. I thought it was really interesting. All Your Perfects by Collen Hoover. This book made me cry. It's so freaking bad. It's about a couple who's having like a lot of marriage issues, and also like the wife suffers from infertility, and it's just a very heartbreaking book. I would say will sell my soul to experience it again because this book made me cry so bad, and I feel like if a book makes me cry, it's automatically a 5 stars. I love crying, so we're gonna add that in there. Malibu Rising, I haven't read that, but I do want to read it, so I'm gonna add it to my TBR. Daisy Jones and the Six, haven't read it yet, so I'm gonna add it to my TBR. They both died at the end. I will put that at, it was enjoyable. Or actually I'll put it at, did I like it and would I recommend it? Sure. Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I love this woman. Punk 57 is a little bit weird because it has the bully trope in it, and I can't say I'm a fan of the bully trope. So I would say, I'm gonna put exclamation point. Reminders of Him by Collen Hoover. This is one I would say, arguably, this is her best book. The writing style, the characters, the storyline, the plot, the male character, the male love interest, obsessed. Midnight Library, I haven't really heard that much good things about it, so I'm gonna say I'm simply not picking this book up. We Were Liars, I read this eons ago, literally eons ago, and so I'm gonna add it to, it was enjoyable, but it was forgettable, because I don't remember anything about this book. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, one of my favorite little YA murder mysteries. I'm gonna say would sell my soul to experience it again because it was such a good read and I loved it, so yeah. Touch of Darkness, I think this is a fantasy, or like, I don't know what this is about. I haven't really heard that much, so I'm gonna say I'm not picking that back up. Wall of Winnipeg is definitely on my TBR. Court of Thorns, this entire series is like so long, so I'm gonna say I'm not picking that book up. I have commitment issues and I cannot commit to that. Love in Other Words, I'm actually reading it right now, but I can already tell it's gonna be a 5-star read for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and add it to Would Sell My Soul to experience again. The Silent Patient, haven't really heard of that. Most of these books I haven't really heard much of, so I'm not even gonna add it. So yeah, Shatter Me I've heard about, so I'm gonna put that on my TBR as well. Every Last Word, what book is that? I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much my list. I'm not gonna rate the other ones because I don't really know what they're really about, and I feel like it will be unfair to put them on here when I don't really like know anything about it. I haven't really heard it, I haven't really read the synopsis or anything. So yeah, that's my list. Some of these books I hold very close to my heart, and yeah, so that's pretty much my tier ranking of popular Booktok books. If you have opposite opinions, please let me know, but don't bully me, y'all. Please don't bully me or don't cancel me. That's pretty much it, you guys. Please leave a comment below if you like this video. If you have opposite opinions or like if you agree, just let me know in the comments below. And subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll see you guys next time.